Hi everyone, welcome to my latest Elephant Money Futures update. I'm doing these regularly and they're virtually the same. There's nothing new here. The reason I'm doing these again and again is just to try and reach more people, because it's a very great, it's a really good passive income project, platform, whatever you want to call it. And I know a lot of people have negative feelings towards it because they think that it's just another DeFi project that's doomed to failure, destined to failure. And I just want to try and get the message out there that this is actually different. And if anyone's going to comment and say, you've said that before about other projects such as Drip, Furio, etc. Yeah, I know I did. Arc seemed like it was going to be different. But trust me, Elephant Money is a completely different animal. Completely different animal. You should do your own research. Don't listen to me. But don't go with what you already know. You're going to have to unlearn a lot of stuff, because it genuinely is completely different. The way that it works is totally different to anything that you've encountered before in DeFi. And I'm going to cover that in just a moment. First thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to deposit 200 BUSD today. So my current balance is $6,564. It's all in stablecoin BUSD. And don't worry about BUSD being deprecated, or whatever you want to call it, phased out, sunset. Elephant Money will switch to a different stablecoin or use BNB. It's no big deal. There's plenty of time for that switch to take place, even if it doesn't get done until early part of 2024. Honestly, it's no big deal. So that's my current balance, and I've accrued that much in interest, $460, and that has been in 14 days. It's 14 days since I last deposited 200 BUSD. So I'm going to do it again today, and that will enable me to effectively compound that amount there. And people freak out when they hear the word compound. This is not exponential growth to the point that, so that hyper compounding is going to kill the project because there are rate limiters in place. And the fact that you have to deposit a fresh 200 BUSD is real key to the success of this. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So I'm going to deposit 200, and you'll see that my available balance gets added into my total balance plus the 200 that I'm going to deposit. Let's just check this against my spreadsheet. So the available balance and $200 should take me up to, I think I've labeled these wrong. I think that should be, oh no, well, effectively are at the end of October. We're just at the beginning of November, so it should take me about 7,256-ish. The reason for the ish I will explain as I go. So 7256, let's see what happens. Deposit. I've got my 200 BUSD ready. Deposit that. Just change that gas fee down to 1 GUI. If you're not sure what that was Rabby, which I use on my desktop as opposed to MetaMask, which I just found was getting too buggy. I use MetaMask on my mobile, it still works great, but on the desktop it just seemed to be issue after issue. There we go, 7225. I think that's almost spot on, isn't it? 7225, and my spreadsheet 7256. Okay, so it's a little bit less than what my spreadsheet projected, and the reason for that is because I've calculated what the daily reward amount should be, and I've based it on 15 days, but it's actually only been 14 days since I deposited last time, so it's slightly less than my spreadsheet, and I will put the correct value in today so that the spreadsheet should then be correct going forward. So what you can see here is that by end of December I should have over $10,000 in futures, and my goal is to, well, I've projected this out to end of next December, over 60,000. As long as I keep depositing 400 a month, and the 0.5% interest per day really stacks up. So that is my plan. I'm going to try and continue depositing $400 a month. You can see I've got tabs here for 200 a month, and also a 200 a month on a 23/7 schedule, just to see how they stack up against each other. Not so great when you start taking rewards out and using some of those rewards as your 200 to redeposit each time. It has a massive impact. Look at that. That takes me down to 22,000 by the end of next December versus over 60,000 if I continue at 400 a month of fresh capital. So I'll put the link to this spreadsheet in case you want to use it as a basis for your own. It's not perfect, so just bear that in mind. But if you just want to see how I've created it, it's pretty simple, deliberately. It's not like Stu's calculator. It's just so I can keep track of my own progress. Now, let me show you with a whiteboard how this future stuff works. Let's see if this is working. So we've got 200 BU. What's this? No, I don't want to sign up. No. BUSD. Now then, 10% of that goes directly into the BUSD is it called buffer? I think it is. Buffer pool. So that will be, in this case, $20. Come on. And 90%. If you don't know this already, this might make you pay attention. You go, oh, right, I understand now. 90% goes to the Treasury. This is what makes Elephant Money different. It has this Treasury, affectionately known as Bertha. Elephant. It's a smart contract, and it just buys up any available Elephant tokens whenever it can. Whenever it's got funds to buy, it buys, and it also manages the withdrawals from futures. So that 90% goes to the Treasury to buy Elephant tokens, right? Imagine this is happening multiple times a day, and there are some massive deposits into futures. We're talking thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the buys that are happening as a result of that, the buys of Elephant tokens are huge, and as those buys keep happening, it takes the Elephant tokens out of the liquidity pools, which, because of the constant product formula, pushes the price up. It's pure maths. There's nothing complicated about it, and there's nothing volatile or speculative about this. It's just maths. The buys keep happening, and they keep driving the price up. So that $200 that I put in today has most of it been used to buy elephant tokens. Not for me, I don't get those elephant tokens. The Treasury gets them. So the Treasury, the value of what's in the Treasury has just grown by $180. But every buy of elephant tokens drives the price up. So by the time I want to make a withdrawal from my futures account, the value of that 200 that I deposited today will have increased significantly. And I will show you the stats from June. That's the beauty of this system, is that the liabilities are really heavily outpaced by the assets held in the Treasury. So the BUSD buffer pool here is used to pay out any withdrawals, and so this today it's gone up by $20 from my purchase. Not very much, okay, but imagine a lot of these futures deposits happening. That buffer pool grows from the 10%. From this 10%, it's growing. It's used then to pay out any small claims. If there isn't sufficient BUSD in the buffer pool to pay out a futures claim, then it automatically sells some elephant tokens at the new higher price. So it has to sell less tokens to meet that liability. Now you might think selling the tokens isn't great. It's fine, because ultimately the Treasury will become the biggest holder of elephant tokens. There won't be any individual what do we call them, human holders who hold enough elephant tokens to be able to move the price by dumping their tokens, because they won't be able to hold sufficient tokens. The Treasury will ultimately be the biggest holder. So as far as I can tell, this is working beautifully. I'll show you the June stats now. The current elephant Treasury value is $80 million, and the futures liabilities currently, I had to use a calculator to check this earlier because I couldn't see a total amount. What I can do is see that there are 2,766 wallets, and the average wallet balance, this is futures, is 8,599. So the total outstanding futures liabilities is 2,300,000. No, try that again. 23,784,000. That's all you need to know, really. 23 million, and the Treasury value currently is it was 80 million, wasn't it? I've lost it now. Just rewind the video 20 seconds, you'll see that Treasury value is 80. So the Treasury is currently like 4 times the value of the futures liabilities, and that gap between the two just keeps widening as more and more people invest in futures, and as more people buy the unlimited NFTs. The funds from that excuse me, the funds from that are used, from those purchases of the NFTs, are used in the same way to buy elephant tokens, to take them out of the liquidity pools, which, thanks to the constant product formula, immediately impacts the price, pushes the price up of the tokens that are left in the liquidity pool. And that's how that gap between the assets and the liabilities keeps getting wider and wider in the direction that you'd want it to. Well, wider only works one way, doesn't it? You know what I mean. Alright, so I think I covered everything. Let's have a look at the whiteboard. That's pathetic, isn't it? Must practice more with my Wacom. Look at this. Remember these? It's actually come in sort of useful for something. Yeah, I need to practice more. It's easier than trying to draw with a mouse. There we go. Right, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. I'll put the link in the description for the spreadsheet if you want to get your own copy of that and use it as a basis for creating your own tracker, whatever you want to call it. Projector? I don't know. Anyway, rambling now. So that's it. Over and out.